welcome back everybody. Can't believe it's been a whole 12 months since the last game room tour video, but here we are again 12 months later. Things have changed quite a lot, so I thought it'd be a good way to start off the new year and show you the existing state of the game room. I've still got one or two things I want to do. It's never finished, is it? But nevertheless, we'll see where it ends up in the next 12 months really. But I thought this would be a good way to start the year. So happy new year to everybody. Hope you all had a good Christmas and all the best for this coming 12 months, 2023. How can it be 2023? Seems no time to think it was 1983. But anyway, let's get on with the room tour. So we'll switch the camera around and we'll get cracking. So this is the view you obviously normally see on the backdrop to the all the videos usually. Something just fell over. So yeah, that's what you normally see. And you haven't got me blocking it this time. So I think what we'll do, we'll just have a quick 360 and then we'll go around the room on a slower basis. So there we go, that's the 360. So we'll start here. That's the telly I've usually got on in the videos. Just a fairly old now Sony LCD flat screen telly. I think it's 30 something, 37 maybe, but not a bad telly at all. It's got loads of sockets on, really useful. It's got, you know, a few HDMI's, got components, composite, S-video, couple of SCARTs, really useful. And then a bit lower down then we've got my Tarte display. Now this telly in particular is a blooming awesome TV. It's a Panasonic something or other. It's Panasonic Viera. That's a bit smaller. I think that's a 32 possibly. It might even be a 28 actually. I think it's 28, but it's got an awesome built-in speaker to it, absolutely brilliant. And I stumbled upon that quite by chance, just cheap, Facebook Marketplace, local. Bought it, was well impressed, and then went on the hunt for some more of the same model. Then where should we start? This is a bit of a mess here. Few wires. I have got plans to tidy this up, because you can see I've got lots of empty sort of SCARTs there, and I've got a couple of switch boxes up there, which is all a bit of a mess. I'm waiting on a new arrival to sort this out. A 10-in-1 SCART switcher, which I recently bought for my other TV, and I've been well impressed, so I've got to get another one for here, and that'll really tidy that up and give me a lot more versatility as well, because you can send the pictures to more than one source. Then just there we've got my Japanese Wii U, which obviously plays Japanese Wii games as well, and there's the tablet for it. And then we've got my white Japanese Saturn. Unfortunately had a Saturn break a couple of weeks ago, so I've had to switch this one out, because it was the one here that broke, which was my original from back in the day. But like I say, it recently packed up. It does still work, but the picture started rolling and glitching. I thought it was the lead and it wasn't, unfortunately. It actually happened live on one of the videos when I was playing Sega Rally. That's when it literally broke. Unfortunately, Daz, that was your machine. It's finally give up the ghost. We've got a couple of arcade marquees there, Enduro Racer, Scud Race. Not actual marquees obviously, just printouts. And then we've got my original Genesis 2, Genesis 32X and Sega CD combination. That's really been transformed lately by getting the 3-in-1 plug, so you're not trying to plug in 3 massive adapters. So I might actually use the Mega CD more now because it's far more convenient with just the one plug. And I've got to say thanks to John Bunday for that, because he got one and sort of mentioned it and where to get it from. So cheers John. Go check John out if you've not watched his channel. Great lad John. And then right, moving up, as I say, we've got the Wii U Japanese tablet, and then we've got my original American 3DO, awesome console. Got a lot of time for the 3DO. It was fantastic when it come out. I keep saying I'm going to do a 3DO video. I haven't got round to it, but I'm going to at some point. And this is fairly recent. This is an American PS3. I bought this because my US PS1 was being a bit temperamental, so I just wanted a backup really, because that's backwards compatible, so that'll play US PS2 and PS1, and also anything region PS3 because it's region free. So I really dropped lucky with that really. Quite a decent little console. That's my Amiga 600. Unfortunately that's also broke. On a bad run lately. I'm trying to get that fixed. Hopefully it'll happen at some point in the new year. Great console. I'm not mad into the Amiga, but of the titles I've got, I think it's, you know, I've just got what I had back in the day. Great computer. Then we've got the Marmite console, the Evercade VS. A lot of people hate them. I personally think they're fantastic. Some great cartridges on the Evercade, and the VS system for me is tremendous. Absolutely love it. And then next up we've got this is a modded N64. It's a modded Japanese one, but it's RGB modded. Absolutely transforms the system, makes it far superior to what you'd ever imagine. It's much derided, the N64, and rightly so in some ways I think, but I did change my opinion on it when I got this RGB modded one. I mean, I've still got my original Japanese launch console, but when I swapped it for this RGB modded one, it really transformed my opinion of the system. And you can see I've got an EverDrive in there as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So more or less every game on it, and it works like a dream. It's the best EverDrive I've ever had on any console. And then we've got my original Japanese GameCube, the purple one. That's also been modded with a switch to allow it to play Japanese or American. And then we've got the awesome Spice Orange GameCube, which is Jap only, with the matching Game Boy player. And again, I've got a Game Boy EverDrive in there with most of the games on. Absolutely serves all my needs for the Game Boy. That's the way I play any Game Boy games. If I want to play them, it's on the GameCube. And then we've got a PAL Dreamcast, purely PAL, standard. Plays all PAL games, and obviously import ones if you want to mess around with the disc swapping. Awesome console. And then we've got my PC Engine Duo R. It's not the tidiest example. I'd like a better one ideally, but it works. It does what I need it to do. So I'm probably not going to buy another one, to be honest, unless it breaks at some point. Awesome console, the PC Engine. Absolutely love it. Unfortunately, it's one of these things that I've sold off a few years back, regretted it. And I've bought some stuff back now, but my collection's nothing like it used to be, and in an ideal world I'd like it to be much better than it is, but the prices of the games, I can't see myself buying that many just because of the prices really, which is a shame. I've got an EverDrive for it, which is the way I'm going with a lot of older consoles really. So I would like to buy more PC Engine games, but I will most likely focus on the CD ones, to be honest. And then at the bottom row we've got a Retro Duo, which is obviously a modern sort of clone console. It will play NES or SNES. It will play, there is a switch for PAL or NTSC, I'll just leave mine on NTSC. Like I said, it will play Japanese or American Super Nintendo, and it will play all my American Nintendo carts and the Famicom carts as well if you use the adapter. And we've got my pink PS2. I think this is new since last year's video, to be honest. I think I bought that at some point this year. It's multi-region. It's slightly temperamental. It doesn't always read some foreign discs. I'm not quite sure why. It usually works eventually, but sometimes you don't boot them first time. But I just love the colour of them. And then on the bottom there, we've got a lovely crystal Xbox. Totally standard PAL crystal Xbox. Lovely looking console, if you ask me. Awesome. Yeah, I think this whole area has changed quite a lot, I think, since last year's video. I did watch it back a couple of weeks ago to see how things had changed for my own sort of personal diary, if you like, and it quite surprised me how much I've changed it. I don't think that I'd got that wide Saturn in last year's video. Probably not the VS, because I only had that last Christmas. Most things have moved position. The PS3 wasn't there for sure. Neither was like I say, the pink PS2. So these other consoles I think were in there, but they were all in different positions. Right, moving across. Now we've got the mighty king of all consoles at the top. We've got the Neo Geo AES, which I got back a couple of months ago, and it was my biggest selling regret. So that's definitely the best thing I've done all year regarding the game room, is getting my AES back. And you can see I've got the multi-cart in there, which rarely comes out, to be honest, because it's got most of the games I want to play, just the odd one isn't on there, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Then we've got the Picsou frame, which I forgot to turn on, and then we've got the Neo Geo CDZ. So when I got the AES, I decided to move things around a bit so I could get both consoles together. Just looks nice. Then we've got my Japanese original Dreamcast from launch day. One of the greatest consoles ever made. And then here we've got an American Genesis 1 coupled up with a PAL Mega CD 1 with a CDX converter, which then allows you to play any region Mega CD game or Sega CD. Really universal sort of console, and personally speaking, I much prefer the Mark 1 to the Mark 2. And the Mark 1 a track screen on the Mega CD is one of the greatest sort of start-up boot screens of all, if you ask me. Then going down, we've got an NTSC Atari Jaguar. Love the console, love how it looks. It's much derided, yes I know. There are some terrible games, but there's some real good ones as well. And I do believe that the latest Atari collection game, Atari 50, has finally started including Jag games, so I'm tempted to get that. We've got Raiden in there, as you can see, awesome on the Jag. Now this is a very recent addition to replace my broken Saturn. This is a Japanese V Saturn, or Victor Saturn. Sega licensed the manufacturer consoles out to Hitachi and JVC in Japan, and this is the JVC version. It's a Mark II, obviously. Just dropped on it cheap in Japan. and had amazing service. I ordered it just before Christmas. I think it was the 20th or 21st, and it came on the 28th, I think it was. So a week from Japan, including Christmas. I was amazed and over the moon. So brilliant to get that, and I do really like the style of the V Saturn as well, so chuffed with that. And then this is my American PS1. It's unmodified, just purely plays American discs. Can be temperamental, which is why I bought that PS3. But touch wood, it's been alright lately. And then next to that we've got my Super Famicom, one of the best looking consoles ever made for me. Absolutely love it. It's in lovely condition actually, and as you can see I've also got an EverDrive in there, which again suits all my needs. Most of the games are on there that I want to play, and just I use that for ease. It's just so easy. And then we've got a nice neon control pad light that my wonderful wife got me, and scrolling down we've got some Outrun posters and Neo Geo logo. We've then got the mighty Bully standing in a tankard from the legendary Goldtooth Gaming, the Gerfmeister. Very thankfully gave me that as a gift. Top lad, go check Goldtooth out. And then this is my original launch Wii, again unmodified, from when I bought it new. Still works great. Got a lot of time for the Wii. Again, much derided, but it's a damn good console. And then we've got a silver fat PS2. Again, just a PAL one. Just don't use the PAL one very often, but if I need to play PAL PS2 or PS1 games, that's how I do it. And then I've got, right at the bottom, we've got a couple of step down transformers so I can plug all my import consoles in. And that's that. Then this is my main CRT, which is a Sony Trinitron 25-inch awesome TV, and that's all hooked up. All these consoles in fact are hooked up to this JVC slimline speaker, which has got a sub as well. And then just down here we've got another new addition to the room. This is my main Tarte display, which is currently hooked up to the Switch, so I'm using this for all my Switch shooters, which I'm really getting into. At the minute we've got Strikers 1945, which is an awesome game. And then we've got the new 8-bit Do arcade stick, which was a Christmas edition. And then underneath there we've got the fantastic Saturn Virtuous Stick, phenomenal arcade stick. Just see we've got the Switch behind there, and then we've got some VMUs, and we've got a modified Mega Drive 2, which is a PAL console, and that's modified to run Japanese NTSC 60Hz. Then underneath the TV we've got my original launch Japanese PS2, which is my workhorse, so I use that for all my PS2 and PS1 games. And then this side again we've got my launch PAL Xbox, totally standard. I use that for all my Xbox games. Got quite a few plugs and adapters there. Then above the TV we've got my Evercade collection. I don't collect them all, I just collect the ones that interest me. Now I do collect all the arcade ones because that's the purple ones. They're most definitely my favourite to collect, and they're all such fantastic value for money. Honestly, you cannot go wrong with the Evercade arcade cards. I really want to get an EXP, I think. And then we've got my original Spectrum rubber key box, which is lovely to look at for some nostalgia, because that's where it all started for me. Then panning back, this is the main TV for modern consoles, which is a LG. I think this is a 47-inch 3D TV, awesome, and it's running the mighty Scud Race. Fantastic Sega arcade. It's just a damn shame they never ported it to anything. Right, and then underneath there we've got my NES Mini, which I never used, to be honest, so I think that'll probably go at some point. I've got my PlayStation I, which is for the move controller on the PS3. Then underneath there we've got my original PAL Wii U, which is where I'd want to play, you know, any of my Wii U games. Obviously I've got the full set, which you probably know, I've done many videos on it. Then above that we've got my American Wii system, so I've got a fairly small American Wii game collection, but maybe a dozen, 15 games. That's where I use that to play all those, obviously. Then we've got, this is a modded Xbox, which is a coin-ops Xbox. So this is where, you know, there's loads of emulators for loads of different consoles. But primarily I would use it for playing old arcade games. If you're into that kind of thing, honestly, get yourself a coin-ops Xbox, they are awesome. Then underneath there we've got my PS4, which again I think that wouldn't have been in last year's video, I wouldn't imagine, because I only got that just after last Christmas, in January I think it was. I had one when that came out, but I wasn't that impressed and got rid of it quickly. But this time around I'm absolutely loving the PS4. Phenomenal console. I'm delighted I bought it, and this Metal Gear Solid edition, obviously. I've had to expand with the external hard drive. I'm wishing I'd bought a bigger one, to be honest. I think that was I think it's 1 terabyte, so I might need to invest in a larger one. Then here, same story. Neither of these were in last year's video. Got the Xbox One, which I must admit I never play. I got it at the same time as the PS4, and I've been thoroughly underwhelmed by it, unfortunately. I don't like it half as much as the PS4. Nothing wrong with the console. I mean, I know all you Xbox lads love it, and rightly so, but I find the menu on it really awkward compared with the PS4. I find the PS4 is much more user friendly, and that's definitely what I enjoy playing on much more, but each to their own. I wouldn't get rid of it, you know, it's just there if I need it. And then above that we've got the fantastic V2 Elite console, which is the Dell sort of mini PC, if you like, which is what's running Scud Race. That, I don't know, I got that a few months back now, and that was through a recommendation from Gamezone Birdroom. The mighty James, he got one and done a few videos on it, and sort of made me take the plunge and get one of my own. And I've got to say, it is a great emulation console. Again, I bought it primarily for arcade games, in particular the Sega sort of AM2, AM3 stuff, and it runs them really well. The controls aren't amazing on some games, they haven't translated that well to, obviously you need a wheel really, but it's a fantastic console, and James has done some great videos on the console himself. If you're interested in it, go check him out, he's a great lad. The Gamezone Birdroom, I'll try and put a link in the description if I can remember. Right, then turning the corner, here we've got there's another switch dock there should I want to play it on this standard TV for normal games. Then we've got an Xbox 360, which was in last year's video, but it wasn't that one because it packed up. That's a cheap replacement off Facebook. And then we've got my original fat PS3, which again, I play all my PS3. I don't play anything else, just PS3 on it. And I've been... This is a generation where I fell out of love with gaming, really. But, you know, since having the PS4, I've kind of re-evaluated the PS3 and I'm starting to like it now. And I have been buying 1 or 2 games for it, because I mean, they're dirt cheap, aren't they? So, that's the PS3. And then we'll stand back a bit now. Now this is all totally new since last year. I mean, I've used it on the backdrop for a few videos. Well, I used to have a big TV here, and this is where I used to film any gameplay footage I did in videos. This was where I used to do it. But I did mention in last year's vid that I was thinking about changing it, and I changed it fairly quickly, to be honest, after last year's vid, into a display kind of shelving area for my actual games. And I wasn't sure at the time, but now after living with it for a few months, I'm really glad I did it, because it gives me much easier access to my games. And I've just changed where I used to film there for any footage I needed. I've just used the regular TVs, and this space is much more beneficial in this capacity than it was before. So I'm over the moon with this area now. It's just not big enough, is it? So, top corner we've got my grandstand Outrun LCD game. Outrun, my all-time favourite game, if you've been living under a rock and didn't know. So that's just there for display purposes. Then we've got... Now I've got to say that this isn't my entire game collection. I've just put on here the stuff I'm most interested in playing. And this has kind of been why I've gone EverDrive route for all cartridge based systems, just for the ease. I haven't got to go hunting around for cartridges. I can just leave the EverDrive in and play whatever I want. So this is sort of most other things, and the games I've got interest in playing. I mean, I don't buy stuff just for the sake of buying stuff. I only buy stuff I want to play. But nevertheless, we've got a very small Xbox 360 and Xbox display. Now I do have more of these games for both of these systems, but this is primarily the ones I'm going to play most, or in terms of the original Xbox, they're more the sort of arcade collection discs I've got up here, with some Sega, like Outrun 2 and other racing games. And then 360, we've predominantly got shooters and fighters and the odd driving game, really. So like I say, there are others. You know, I haven't got that many 360 games, but I've got a fair amount of original Xbox games. But I just keep those there just to show a bit of green spine love, really. And then that's I just had to have a pink TV when I saw Pete fighting with one. I wanted one ever since, really, and eventually got one. It's only a cheap thing, but it's not a bad little TV. It's just there because I wanted a pink TV, really. I think it's 24-inch, and I sometimes use it on the background on videos when I film from this area. And it's just hooked up to a Raspberry Pi, just so as I can show anything relevant to whatever I'm talking about. Then over this side is my Switch collection, which I have thinned out quite a lot the past few months to pay for other stuff I've bought. But going forward, I am looking at, you know, buying a few more of retro inspired Switch games, so I can see this growing, or this being an area that's going to grow, you know, a fair bit this year, perhaps going forward. So this may end up getting changed here. I think I might end up moving that TV so I've got more space for Switch game storage, and possibly a few more Xbox if I wanted to. And then the next shelf down, again we've just got some more Outrun love there and a Mario coin block. Then this is the PS4 collection again, so this has all been amassed during the year, and it's really surprised me how much I've started to like the PS4. I just need more time to play the games, to be honest. I haven't really shown any of these on pickups videos, I don't know why really. So at some point in the new year, or this year I should say, I really need to revisit and do a sort of an update on my PS4 journey. Then we've got PS3 games. Again, these aren't all the games I've got for the PS3. They're just the ones I'd consider playing the most. I've kind of separated them into the newer black spine ones from the older red spine ones there. And then that morphs into my Japanese PS2 collection with a few American ones on the top, but all the others are Japanese. The one downside with Japanese PS2 games is they're mostly Japanese language on the spines, which don't help. So what I try and do is arrange them in some kind of order so as I can remember, and that tends to be like racing games, fighting games, shooting games, you know, sports games, and so I've got a rough idea where things are. That then morphs into my Japanese PS1 collection, predominantly Japanese, and we've got some PAL PS2 light gun games there. So these are all Japanese PS1 games, and again they're arranged in the same order, like racing, shooting, light gun, driving, that kind of thing. And then we've got a small US PS1 collection up the top there. And then we come down again. This is the state of the current AES collection. There are still some more I would like to find. We've then got, this is a small selection of my Wii games. I've got quite a substantial Wii collection, but these are just the light gun games that are the ones I'd play most regularly. And then also we've got about half of my American Wii collection there, including there's a couple there that never came out PAL, which is a damn shame, like Mario Super Sluggers and Kirby Dream Collection and Excitebots, which is one of the best games on the Wii for me. I can't understand why they never brought that out. And then we've got some Japanese Wii and Wii U. Then we've got our Neo Geo CD collection. They're all the originals there, as you can see in the middle. And then we've got some repros in the DVD cases. That then moves on to the Dreamcast Japanese, again repro in the big boxes, except the one which is Cosmic Smash, which did come in a DVD case. And then that moves us down to the more Japanese Dreamcast and a few PAL games. I haven't got many PAL games. I've got most of what I want on the Dreamcast, to be honest. I'm almost done for that. That is an awesome Sega Rally guidebook given to me by the legend that is CraigsHereAgain at the recent Birmingham Gaming Market. I forgot to show that actually on my pickups vid, so sorry Craig. What a gent you are. You gifted me that Sega Rally guide. It's in Japanese obviously, but awesome gift. Cheers mate. Craig's a top lad. He don't do many videos, but he's got some mega collections of stuff. Honestly, if you've not watched CraigsHereAgain I'll try and put a link in the description. It's got some fantastic Japanese stuff. And then moving across, now this is the only Famicom box I own, but I just had to buy it purely for the box art. It's just amazing, absolutely love it. Gradius. And then this is the Saturn collection. Now this has changed most over the last 12 months because I really set out on a journey to recover my Saturn collection this year, and I went a bit mad. We've got Cyberbots down the side there. So we've got a few American games, not many, and then again we've got a few PAL games, again not many, just for the nostalgia really. But then I've probably tripled the size of my Saturn collection in the past 12 months. I did do a Saturn video the early part of last year, and my plan was to see where I got throughout the year and then do another one sort of this January and see how things had changed. But I've ended up buying that many games this year for it. I'm not sure I'd fit it all in one video. I did count them not so long back. So I think I had about 30 or 40 when I started. But I've got well over 100 now. So at some point I need to catalogue and do a follow-up video to last year's just to see where the collection is now. And to be fair, there's still a lot of Saturn games I do want, but unfortunately a lot of them are expensive, so quite a few are going to have to be repro now. I don't see myself buying many genuine Saturn games now purely because of the cost. These are all genuine here, down to the Japanese Deep Fear, and then this is the dirty repro section. So there you go, Stu, just for you. They're all my dirty repros, and there's probably as many again that I want to get and pick up this year really. And then they're back to being genuine, but they're less, you know, they're the cheap sort of, not rubbish, but the fodder, if you like. And then my tiny Xbox One collection, which comprises primarily of Forza really and Rare Replay, which are the only reasons I bought the console. And then that moves us nicely on to the joystick pervert section. So the first one we've got is an arcade stick for an iPad. You just slot your iPad in the top and then you download whatever app you're interested in. I bought it when it was an Atari app to play all the old arcade Atari games on your iPad, and you know, use that as an arcade stick. Works really well, good little stick actually. Then this is only a cheapo quick shot 8-bit you know, era arcade stick, but it works fantastically well on your micros like your Spectrum or your C64, even your Atari 2600, but where I use it is on the Master System. Phenomenally good on the Master System. It's a good quality little stick, and they're really cheap, like 15 quid maybe. Honestly, you can't go wrong with one of them for the Master System. It's a quick shot, what's it called? And you can see you've got a switch there, A, B, C, D, to switch between the different consoles, but it works brilliant on the Master System. Then we've got the mighty AES arcade stick, and then we've got the original Mega Drive 3-button arcade power stick. Then we've got the Hori mini fighting stick for the Switch, and then we've got a Gamester. I can't remember the name of these. I can't remember. It's a Gamester Xbox arcade stick anyway. It's not the greatest stick in the world, but there's really limited amount of arcade sticks you can get for the OG Xbox, and that's the best one I've found. Then we've got an ASCII fighter stick for the SNES, and then we've got a Logic 3 arcade stick for the GameCube. I've only ever used it once, I think. It's not the kind of thing you need for a GameCube really. Then we've got the NES Advantage. Looks better than it performs really. Just moving down there, we've got my only amiibo, which is the Mega Yarn Yoshi. I did have a massive amiibo collection, but they've all gone during this year to pay for other stuff. Then we've got a Japanese Famicom, which is purely for display, because unfortunately it's a non-worker. But I do love how it looks, and it's particularly clean, this one. I would like to get it working at some point and AV modded, but we'll see. Then we've got the fantastic Dreamcast arcade stick. That's one of the last arcade sticks I bought actually, 'cause I was really struggling to find a decent one of them, but found one eventually. What a great stick. This funny plastic thing, I should have mentioned, it's just a plastic base for another game we'll get to in a bit. And then we've got the PC Engine turbo stick. Nice little stick that for the PC Engine. Then we've got the Japanese Saturn arcade stick. Now it's not as good as the Saturn Virtuous stick by any stretch of the imagination, but it's reasonable, and it's much better than the PAL one because it is micro switched, where the PAL one isn't. So it's not bad at all, that. We've then got the Neo Geo CD arcade stick, which you can use on the AES as well. I actually quite like this. I call this the kidney bean controller, but it is nice. I'm a bit torn. I think possibly, given that or the original AES stick, I would possibly say that one's my preferred option. Then we've got the ASCII fighter stick for the Mega Drive, which is 6 button, which is basically the Mega Drive version of that SNES one from earlier. Then this is I think it's horror, yeah, it's a horror fighting stick. I use that on the PS3, and then more or less the same stick for the Xbox 360. And then we've got, I love the look of this, the ASCIIware PS1 arcade stick. I just love the design, how it looks like the console. So we'll just stand back from that a bit. Oh, now that's what that orange piece of plastic is for. It's the base for that Taiko no Tatsujin for the PS2. There's loads of different versions you can get of that game. Wanted it for years, and I dropped on that at a decent price in nice condition. I'm yet to try it. And then this is all new, this area. I decided to put a few more shelves in here to get some more stuff. We've got a drawer unit there which is full of controllers for all different sorts of consoles, and then here we've got my Vectrex, which used to be on the backdrop to the videos, and when I moved the AES in, I think that's when I moved the Vectrex over here and decided to get a shelving set up here as well. So we've got the Vectrex games next to it. What an awesome console. We've got my Secret Santa Tetris light, which is cool, and then we've got my Vectrex game collection. The boxes on the left are original, and the right hand side you can tell the difference, are repro boxes, but to be honest they are excellent quality. They're just a slightly different colour to the originals, but they are blooming good repros, I've got to say. And then we've got my PC Engine collection. Again, like I was saying earlier, it's a bit small and not what I'd like, but it is what it is. I would like to pick up some more CDs. Avenue 6 pad. And then at the bottom there is my ColecoVision collection. Great console, the ColecoVision. Don't seem to get any love, but there we are. Then here we've got this is the only Mini I've got now. I've sold them all, except that NES Mini was still in use, which I don't use. PC Engine Core Graphics Mini, Then we've got my Sega CD collection. These are all original games. You've got the 4 plastic ones to start with, still in their original boxes. All these are in replacement DVD cases because the original boxes are so bad. Honestly, the quality is shocking. So they are all original discs except Snatcher and Terminator. All the others are original, just in new replacement boxes. And then we've got one Japanese game on the end, which is Ninja Warriors. Then we've got my Japanese GameCube collection, which I keep in plastic boxes because I don't want the dust getting on them really. So we've got 2 full boxes there. And then, oh, tell a lie, we've still got the Neo Geo Mini as well. Love that little thing. And then we've got my American GameCube games. And then that brings us around this corner. Now this is the sort of 8-bit area, if you like. 8-bit corner, we'll call it. So we've got 2 CRTs. We've got a Sony Trinitron 14-inch, and we've also got this on digital DVD combo, which is a perfectly flat screen, and it's an absolutely beautiful picture on this TV. So we've got those 2 there, which I use, excuse the rubbish. Yeah, so this is 8-bit corner. So we've got my Telstra Speccy 128K, which is hooked up to the Sony Trinitron, and then we've got my ColecoVision, which is modded, AV modded, sorry, and 60 Hz modded. Great, honestly, it's so much of an improvement over the 2600. It's kind of halfway between a 2600 and a NES stroke Master System. And then on the bottom there we've got my Japanese Famicom, which I've never been into NES or Famicom, but since having that and collecting all the coloured cards, I'm absolutely loving the Famicom now. Awesome system. Then we've got a Master System 1, which is by far my favourite of the 2. Like Master System 1 or 2 I'm talking about. Again, that's 60 Hz RGB modded, and we've got an EverDrive in there as well. And then on the end there we've got, again, an RGB modded original white PC Engine that's also got an EverDrive in. And all those are hooked up to the silver on TV, because like I say, the picture quality on it is phenomenal. And then down the side of the TVs we've just got a few boxes, predominantly we've got some controllers. We've got controllers in the bottom too, and then we've got loose carts in the next 2. The first one is Master System, and then the second one is the mighty Famicom. I just love the rainbow carts you can get for the Famicom. Honestly, that's another area where I'm going to be collecting this next year, because I love Famicom. Really, I'm really getting into it. And then up from there we've just got a iPod dock and music station. Then we've got the VHS area. So we've got Sony VHS player. That was just a cheap Facebook Marketplace pickup, local. I think it was a tenner or 15 quid I paid for that, and it's a cracking little VHS player. And then above that we've got a Sony Trinitron 14-inch widescreen CRT. I wanted one of these TVs for absolutely years, right from when they came out back in the 90s I think, and I never bought one, and they always seem dear on eBay these days. And I dropped on this one just by chance, and it was a bit of travel to get. I think it was Sheffield I bought it from, but absolutely love the TV, and it's obviously widescreen, which is rare for a portable CRT, and it's got excellent speakers in it as well, so you get the NICAM sound off your VHS tapes. So, and also obviously VHS, the standard is pretty rubbish, but if you watch it on a small screen, I think it's quite passable. So I just tend to put them on in the background while I'm doing other stuff, and it's awesome for that VHS nostalgia buzz. There's a few current things I'm getting through watching there: Lethal Weapon and Mortal Kombat. And then that brings us to this area where we've got my Neo Geo style MVS Pandora's box arcade stick, which is running on a Sony LCD TV. Again, it's quite old, this one, but really universal. It's got lots of sockets on it. We've got Sunset Riders running, as you can see at the moment. They're nothing amazing, these Pandora's boxes, but they've got loads of games on them. I just particularly like the style of this one, being MVS Neo Geo. I bought this with the sort of objective to use this as a basis of making a Neo Geo MVS style arcade cabinet with it. It's still the plan, I'm not 100% about it. So we'll see where that goes. But that's that area. So just stand a bit further back. So that's, like I say, that's kind of 8-bit and VHS area. And then we've got the computer in the corner there, and then we're back to the start. So that's the game room. Oh, and in the middle we've just got a table, and we've got just where I do my cleaning of any games I buy, and then underneath I've got my PSP collection under there. And that's the game room in its entirety at the moment. So I think all we'll do now is we'll switch the lights off so you can have a quick 360 in the dark. And there we go. Just want to say thanks for watching. It'd be great to hear any of your comments. If you've enjoyed it, please check out other vids on the channel. Think about dropping me a sub or giving me a thumbs up. I'll put a link in the description to last year's video so you can see how things have changed. But hopefully, if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, stick around for some more waffling and retro rambling on the channel in the future, and hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching, and all the best for 2023.